G'day, legends. It's Jai, that Aussie metal guy here. Before we get stuck into another great interview brought to you by Crannk.com and thatmetalstation.com, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, and that way you can keep up to date with all the best music and interviews from all over the world.
Yep.
Hey, how you all going? It's Jai, that Aussie metal guy here with Crannk.com and with thatmetalstation.com. So tonight, no matter where you are in the world, is with great pleasure that I'm getting to have a chat with Bjorn Strid of Soilwork, due to release their 12th studio album, Övergivenheten, August 19th through Nuclear Blast. Bjorn, thank you very much for joining me for a chat, mate.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, absolute pleasure, man. Like just about every other metalhead in the world, huge fan of Soilwork. So when I got the opportunity to have a listen to this and have a chat with you at the album, it was something I was really keen to get into. The album is amazing, dude. First off, I want to ask about the songwriting process on this. I know it was probably a drawn out process, but it would have given you some time to make this album as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were giving a lot of time all of a sudden, and then I guess it was quite good for us. I think maybe we all need a little bit of a perspective on things, and this is really the first time I've stopped in 20 years. And because there's always something going on, even if there's a break, there's also always some kind of a tour or a festival. Hello again.
There we go. The joys of modern technology. It's great till it doesn't work anymore.
Brilliant.
That's me at work, furiously slapping computers like fucking work, damn you. No, you were saying that it gave you some time. You hadn't been touring for the first time in a long time. You didn't have any tours. And you were able to take that time.
Exactly, and I think it gave us some perspective on things, and sort of where you're at in your life and what you've done for the latest 20 years, and I don't know. It was I think it was really good for me. I took a break from music for a while, and then slowly approached songwriting again. And I think also part of me that was sort of worried, like, am I going to be able to go back being that person again? Can I, am I going to lose it if I don't keep it up? But at the same time, I also enjoyed, spending more time with the family, and even, to get to know myself a little bit better, even because there's, you're always the guy on the road. You're always the guy behind the microphone. So just being Bjorn for a while, that definitely did some magic, because when I started, approaching, the songwriting for this album, a lot of beautiful things started happening. A lot of emotions came through, and especially with the melodies, I think, both vocally and also, with the guitars, and it ended up being some of the songs, it's like, wow, where did this come from? I'm very proud of this album. It was me and David has written most of the material. Sven contributed with one song as well, but it's like, I'm really proud of what we accomplished. Me and David has been in very different places, while recording this album. I don't think he enjoyed the break as much as I did, and then so he's been frustrated, but at the same time, he had a lot of inspiration. He's written a lot of music, which has been quite dark, and maybe I've been in a little bit better place, but we're really close, we're like brothers. So so it's been quite of an interesting exchange there musically as well, but I would say that it's a quite dark album, but it's super empowering and very uplifting as well, so it was an interesting process, and it was not easy, it might have been easy to sort of write some of the songs, but getting it all together, it was quite a task.
Yeah, as you mentioned, they're super dark but uplifting. I was going to leave this till a little bit later, but what kind of encapsulates this was that track for me at the moment, the Death I Hear You Calling. That track is just amazing for me. Of the one today, I know it's probably going to change for me tomorrow, but that track, can you tell me a little bit about that one?
Well, that's a song written by David, and it almost has sort of like a rock-like stomp in it. It's like blackened. I I don't know, blackened rock, I was going to say, but it's quite special. It sticks out a little bit, but it's a really good track. I really love that. That's one of my favorites on the album for sure. And some really high vocals, falsetto vocals on that one as well. So I mean, if we're gonna do that one live, it's gonna be interesting, you know. But I'm I like to give myself some challenges for each and every album. So I'm sure it's gonna be good. But that's a good example of a song that definitely sticks out and something that's really cool.
Yeah, can I ask about the title track, Övergivenheten? That's a really nice track to start the album with, and a really cool film clip to go with it as well.
Yeah, it was actually the very last song that I wrote the night before entering the last recording session. So it came together at the very last moment, which is quite interesting, and it just developed into this absolute beast with all these choirs and banjos and whatnot, and it turned into this song that I didn't even know I had in me. I was going to say, but it's I think one of the best songs I've personally ever written, and I'm very proud of it. And I couldn't believe that, I mean, we always as a band tried to find the track order, and everybody felt so strongly about that song opening the album. And wow, it's I think it is a perfect opener, especially with the intro and everything, and the video clip, like you mentioned. It's a fantastic video, I would say. The footage is fantastic, the storyline, everything beautiful. It really fits the song too.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, that intro and the build up into the opening of that track, it just hits you hard. You couldn't think of any other track on that album to start with the opening. And you did mention the choir there. There was some really nice choir arrangements on this as well, I noticed. David kind of composed that, didn't he, or organized that? Yeah. Tell me about that.
He arranged we went, basically, I mean, he's a doctor, and I think his friend at the hospital is a nurse. She's singing in a choir, and then it's like, oh, I might have something, somebody in mind that maybe she's in a choir. Maybe we can record some choirs for as the intro for that song. It's like, wow, that sounds cool. Yeah, so we basically went to church and we recorded the intro there, and that was quite powerful. I remember coming into the church and I'm seeing, like, Dr. Dave Anderson sitting by the piano with the glasses on and arranging, and writing down the notes and everything, and so that was really cool. It was really powerful. We actually have some footage of that. We should post that at some point.
Yeah, you
so
should.
People can see.
It's beautiful. It sounds really good on the album, and there's also these acoustic elements to the album that are just fit really well. And I love those moments, like when they do come into the album. It's almost like a moment of introspection. You know what I mean? At those points of the album too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's quite a bit of violin in there, and it's really cool when it comes in. And sometimes it's very unexpected, I guess. There's these full blast going on, and then suddenly it goes into something really dreamy and organic. So it's sorry, I was wondering. That's my dog. Sorry.
That is.
So
totally
is there somebody
fine.
walking in here? It's like.
Speaking of animals, I've got cockatiels. They're quiet because it's night at the moment, but sometimes during the day they go off as well. So when you're doing it's always the animals, and that's the thing of the last couple of years. We've all found different ways of being able to connect and still remain in touch with each other as a scene. You know what I mean? Like, and at the movies, those YouTube videos, I've got to mention that project. Are a part of as well. That was a really cool project too, man, and kind of something I suppose gave you something else to do during that time.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a fun time. I mean, that was another unexpected thing coming in. It's like my friend Chris Laney, he just called me up, and I was like, "Oh, Bjorn, I'm so bored. We need to do something." So, okay, what do you have in mind? He's like, "Oh, well, I'm thinking we should do like hard rock versions of 80s and 90s soundtracks." Like, okay, cool. It's like, it feels like it's been done before, but yeah, why not? That sounds like fun. And then little did I know, I mean, so many people got into that. They loved it, and then they were looking forward to it every Thursday, you know, with each release, and we had so much fun doing it, you know, and I think maybe it was, you know, exactly what people needed, you know, there and then, you know, because people need to hold on to something that reminded them of you know, the past or something, you know, when there wasn't, you know, it was sort of like a carefree time and no troubles in sight. And I don't know, the timing was great, but I mean, there was not a master plan whatsoever. No. I've heard people coming afterwards like, "Oh, what you did with that move is smart moves, like smart business plan." I was like, "What? No, what are you talking about?" So it was just really, you know,
something fun to do and connect with, you know, the fans and with yourselves as friends, playing something, you know, fun and just enjoying it again.
Yeah, it made people really happy. So that felt good.
Yeah, I don't want to chew up too much time, mate. I know you've been a bit flat out this morning with interviews, but I do want to ask about the upcoming tour here in Australia in November, man. I know a lot of fans are really keen about it, and you guys must be excited too to finally get on the road and start playing some tours again after having some downtime with family.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're looking forward to that tour. I think it's going to be maybe the 8th or 9th time we're coming to Australia, so that's pretty crazy, actually. But always a good time. It's one of my favorite, you know, tours to do, you know, and so yeah, it's looking like November. So knock, everything, you know, everything's looking good, and yeah, it's gonna be a blast for sure.
Looking forward to seeing you down under in November. Everybody, the album Övergivenheten. I hope I didn't annihilate the enunciation.
No, you're doing it really well. Awesome. I'm very impressed.
Thank you. Comes out August 19th through Nuclear Blast. Do you have any last words, shout outs, or thank yous you'd like to add in?
Well, thanks for following us through the years and being so loyal, and I'm pretty positive you're gonna really dig this album. So thanks for picking up the album, and see you on tour soon.
Awesome. Cheers, mate. You have a